That whistling's driving me crazy.
Shane merely grinned and kept on whistling. He paused only long enough to talk encouragingly to the cows.
That's the way, ladies. You fill her up.
Content as any of his bossies, Shane moved down the line of milkers, checking each one.
I'm gonna pound 'em,
Rafe announced to no one in particular.
Leave 'em be,
Devon said mildly.
He's already brain dead.
Rafe smiled at that.
It's so damn cold. If I hit him, my fingers would probably break off.
Gonna warm up some today? Shane patted one of the cows waiting in the stanchions to be hooked for milking. Get up into the 30s anyway. Rafe didn't bother to ask how Shane knew. Shane always knew.
Big deal.
He strode out of the milking parlor toward barn and hayloft.
What's eating him?
Shane muttered.
Some girl dump him? He just hates cows.
Jared stepped back in, smelling of grain.
That's stupid. You're a sweetheart, aren't you, baby?
Shane gave the nearest cow an affectionate swat.
Shane's in love with cows.
Devon flashed the wicked MacKade grin, which had a dimple flickering at the corner of his mouth.
He has better luck kissing them than girls.
Immediately insulted, Shane narrowed his eyes.
I could kiss any girl I wanted to, if I wanted to.
Under the layers of clothing, his lean, rangy body was on full alert. Recognizing the signs, Jared shook his head. He just didn't feel like a tussle now. There was too much work to do, and he had a big test in English Lit to worry about. Devon and Shane were too evenly matched, and a fight between them could go on indefinitely.
Yeah, you're a regular Don Juan.
He said it only to focus Shane's attention and temper on him.
All the little girls are puckered up and waiting in line.
Devon made a long, loud kissing noise that made Jared want to slug him. As Shane pivoted to do just that, Jared stepped between them.
But before you make their hearts flutter, lover boy, the water trough's iced over. These cows are thirsty.
Aiming a glance that promised Devon retribution, Shane stomped outside. He could kiss a girl, Shane thought as he hacked at the ice. If he wanted to, he just wasn't interested. Well, maybe he was a little interested, he admitted, blowing on his fingers to warm them. Some of the girls he knew were starting to get pretty interesting shapes, and he'd felt an odd sort of tingling under his skin when Jared's girl, Sherilyn, wiggled up against him when they were packed into the front seat of Jared's car the other day. He could probably kiss her, if he wanted. He set the iron bar aside, looking toward the milk barn as the stars winked out overhead. That would show Jared a thing or two. They all figured he didn't know what was what because he was the youngest, but he knew plenty. At least he was starting to imagine plenty. Hauling up the bar again, he clumped over the slippery, snow-packed ground to the pig shed. He knew how sex worked, all right. He'd grown up on a farm, hadn't he? He knew how the bull went crazy and wide-eyed when he smelled a cow in heat. He just hadn't thought the whole thing looked like a whole hell of a lot of fun. But that had been before he began to notice how girls filled out their clothes. He hacked away the layer of ice for the pigs, and leaving his brothers to finish up the milking, dealt with the feed. He wished he was grown up. He wished he could do something to prove he was, besides holding his own in a fight. As it was, all he could do was simply wait until he was older, and know that then he could take control of his life. The land was his. He'd felt that in his bones, as long as he could remember. As if at birth someone had whispered it in his ear. The farm, the land. That was what really mattered. And if he wanted a girl, too, or a whole platoon of them, he'd get that, too. But the farm was what counted most. The land, he thought, looking over the snow-coated fields as the sky grayed with dawn and turned explosive at the tips of the eastern mountains. The land his father had worked, and his father before that, and before that, through droughts and floods, through war. They'd planted their crops and brought them in, he thought.